All right, joining us now, CNN national security analyst and former Department of Homeland Security official Julia Kayyem, and the founder of Latinas for Trump, Ileana Garcia. Ileana, let me start with you. You just heard Congressman Castro saying the wall won't work and that it's a waste of time and a waste of money. Your response?
I don't understand how he could make that type of comment, considering that it's not symbolic at all. It's about protection. We can say that there is a big immigration situation, not necessarily all too because of the security situation. There is a wall there now. There is a fence. It needs to be fortified. It needs to be extended. It needs to be symbolic only for the people to understand that there are a set of laws that you need to follow in order to come into this country. There's also a wall between Guatemala and Mexico, which I was told, and once I did the research, that at a given moment, Obama gave Mexico $75 million so that they can secure that wall between Guatemala and Mexico. So why not then secure the wall or make things better for this country by fortifying the fence, the wall, and helping people understand that there is accountability. It's not just about immigration, it's also about protection. It's about the drugs that come through, it's about human trafficking, amongst other things.
So, Juliet, the president is going to be making this announcement about this executive action at your former agency. He's going to be making it at DHS. What does it mean, practically speaking, this border wall? Will the border wall be built, do you think? If it is, what does that mean for security?
Well, I think it's fair to say, and so I agree with Ileana that this is more symbolic than anything else. The wall, there's about 850 miles of wall already across the southern border. The reason why there's not more is because there's water and there's mountains and also tribal lands. Finally, red states like Texas, Arizona, and sometimes New Mexico don't want the wall for a variety of reasons. Commercial activity inhibits land growth, commercial growth. So in the world of not politics, there are actually rational reasons of why a wall is not built. It doesn't mean there's no security. There's drones, there's surveillance, there's border patrols. And so I think what this executive order is essentially saying is, I didn't forget about the wall. Mexico won't pay for it. But unless it has places where we're actually going to build the wall, where there's no wall, I think this is more bark than bite.
What about Mexico, Ileana? Because I don't think Mexico paying for it is part of the executive order today. It absolutely was part of the campaign promise from then-candidate Trump.
I think that you guys are making too big a deal about who's going to pay for it or not. The fact of the matter is that it's going to happen. I think that the fact of the matter is that there is an issue with drugs in this country and there's a lack of protection.
I didn't make a big deal of it during the campaign. Donald Trump. In every speech,
he did.
It was
okay,
a call and
good.
response.
I'm glad that he did, and that's why he won. And that's why he won. That's exactly why he won. And it's not just about immigrants. It's about protection. And it's not just about protection because of the whole conspiracy theory that's going on with regards to Mr. Trump. No, it's about ISIS. It's about people who are not complacent with the way that things are in the United States.
But what John's asking you is not about the security situation. He's asking you about the payment method. What John is asking is,
what difference does it make? What difference does it make?
Obama,
prior to leaving the presidential office, handed the Palestinians $221 million.
To all of his voters, the people that supported him.
You guys are making a big. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, whether you like it or not, and whether you guys can sit here all day and discuss it. It's going to happen. How it's going to happen, I don't know. Who's going to pay for it? It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that it's going to happen, and we're so happy about it. We're so happy. We're so happy that right after that, the biometrics is going to kick in. That finally we're going to have accountability in the country.
You don't care who pays for it. If it's American people, you don't care.
You know something? We were paying for sterilizations and abortions overseas. I didn't know about that till recently.
All right, Juliet, let me ask you about that.
You don't want to talk about that.
Well, no, look, we're not trying to be belligerent. Donald Trump said Mexico was going to pay for the wall. We were just asking, is Mexico going to pay for the wall? It's not part of the action today. Juliet, you've worked in international fields before. How complicated will it be to get Mexico to pay for the wall? And again, all we were asking is, it doesn't appear to be part of the plan today. When and if will it happen?
So as everyone who's served in government knows, an executive order can only essentially direct the executive agencies that are under Donald Trump's control. So that would be the Department of Homeland Security, Customs, ICE. You don't direct Mexico under an executive order. And I think the payment is relevant. What I'm looking for, obviously, for reasons related to taxpayers, but what I'm really looking for is where, in fact, this wall will be built. I think anyone who's actually worked operationally, like myself, and I will be honest, with like the new Secretary Kelly, who in his testimony said border controls are a combination of walls and surveillance and drones and border professionals. They're water, big rivers and mountains. I'm really curious to see if this executive order will actually have geography, will actually say where the wall will be built. And I think what we'll find is that the executive order just reiterates the campaign promises, but probably doesn't do any changes operationally, simply because those changes are being done every day. I mean, the border is a very fluid area in which security is being put forward. On the payment issue,
Julia,
look, I'm your national security advisor, but you can't direct Mexico to pay through an executive order.
Ileana, Julia, thanks so much.
Drugs continue to come in,
Ileana,
and people
Julia,
continue to come in, and something needs to be done.
We'll continue. We'll have a lot more time to talk about.
No, and we'll continue to just ask about campaign promises and statements that were made by the candidate or continue to be made by the president. That's what we do.